Hi, my name is Bal Birdy. I'm a staff solution architect here at VMware. And in this session, we're going to have a look at the NSXT Advanced Load Balancer and integration with dynamic security groups. So we're going to go straight into demo. So I'm going to move to my demo now. Scenario, we're going to look at how we can leverage the NSXT Advanced Load Balancer, formerly AVI, with our hybrid cloud environment. So let's look at the environment as it is today. So I've got a 3-tier app here, the usual web data app DB kind of setup. I've got 2 web servers, Web 01A, which is 172.16.10.11, and Web 02A, which is 172.16.12. Now, what we've done is, this is was initially delivered through a NGINX load balancer, but we've migrated the load balancing function over to the NSXT Advanced Load Balancer. So if I go to the NSXT Advanced Load Balancer, we've got one virtual service defined, which is webapp.corp.local. And then this has a pool definition of webapp.corp.local/pool. Now, let's have a look at the pool members. So if we click on the pool, we go to servers, we can see that I've got 5 servers defined within my pool. Now, this isn't an uncommon approach, right? We've got a pool definition, and these are either static members, we use an IP address range or something along those lines. So 172.16.10.11, 12, 13, 14, 15 are our pool members. So let's just look at this in a bit more detail. So here's our pool definition. If we click on servers, yeah. So as I said, we're using an IP address. We'll probably put in a range, and we've got our 5 servers. Now, this is all good and well. This is a fairly standard configuration. From an NSX perspective, there's associated distributed firewall rules that will allow access to the web services and allow all of that intercommunication. But the question then becomes, if we start to build out some services, either expand this pool, or we start to really think about hybrid cloud, and we start to think about deploying services into AWS, how do we get those additional servers into this pool? And this is really where the group definition that we use within NSX and consumption of that group definition within the AVI load balancer really starts to come into play. And there's a really powerful piece in supporting elasticity within the data center and supporting our scalability needs for our customers. So let's first of all have a look at what we've got on the AWS side. So within AWS, so we're talking about public cloud. So I haven't grown my application on-prem. What I've done is I've decided that I'm with a customer. We want to implement a hybrid cloud deployment model. So we've deployed a couple of instances into AWS. So we've got a couple of AMIs that we've deployed, which are Livefire VPC user 00 and Web Server 1 and Web Server 2. So if we look at this, we've got 2 private IPs of 172.20.10.19 and 172.20.10.93. Yep. Now I can absolutely connect to these 2 boxes directly. So if we do 172.20.10.19, just to confirm, it has communication to, so the web function, the web front end is in AWS, but the application and database backend are on-prem. Let's have a look at the other instance. So Web 2 was 10.93. Let's just double check. 3. So this just confirms my two web servers that are in AWS are able to communicate with my on-prem application and database servers, right? Now, how is that happening? That's happening through virtue of a VPN tunnel. So we've got a VPN tunnel between on-prem and AWS, and that's how the two systems are communicating. Right. Now, furthermore, we could absolutely implement an elastic load balancer within AWS. So here I've got an ELB defined for this service. If I query this, this will load balance my on-prem, my public cloud implementation. So if we change this here, you can see if I refresh this, I'm hitting 10.19 and 10.93. Yep, so 10.93, 10.19. Okay, so my public cloud implementation is being load balanced using the AWS ELB. My on-prem implementation, 10.11, 10.12, is being load balanced by Avi, right? So from an Avi perspective, we've got controllers, we've got a couple of, there they are. We've got a couple of SEs deployed, yeah, which are handling my data plane. And ultimately, these are, from an Avi perspective, we're load balancing to Web 01A and Web 02A. So if we go into Avi, if we look at the statistics of the virtual service, okay, events, logs. So you can see I'm hitting this bit 10.10, and that's load balancing me to 10.12, right? If we look at another one, 10.12, this is the next one straight connecting me to 10.11. Okay. Now, interestingly, what we've done is, let's go back to NSX. Let's look at our security group definition. And this is really the crux of it and why you want to use security groups. So if I look at this web security group, you'll have seen I've got those two servers in AWS as members of this group. So the question is, could I use this group within AWS? So as the group gets additional members, those members can then be added automatically to my virtual service within Avi. And the short answer is yes, you can. So let's just quickly look at the web group definition. So here I've got two membership criteria. One, are you part of web app? And then I've got this second criteria, which is, do you have the tag AWS web, and is your scope the web app, AWS web app, right? Just to show you on the AWS side where those tags reside. So if we go to our EC2 instances, so I've got web server 02, we look at tags. Here you can see my tags that we've got defined. So I've got web app, oops. We've got the web app, and we've got AWS web, right? So this is our tag and scope definition, right? So let's do this. Let's update our Avi controller definition. So it's now using this, this group. So we go back into Avi, we go to our pools, right? And for the purposes of this lab, let's actually just go back in here. I'm going to remove this tag. By doing this, removing this matching criteria, web now only has my two web servers. That's good, right? So let's start before we've added in our additional AWS instances. Let's now go into here and let's update this. We go in here, change this from IP address range to security groups. We say, yep, you look in here, we've got all of these security groups we've learned from NSXT. We're going to add our web servers in. Click Save. If I go into here, I click Servers, you can see now I've only got 10.11 and 10.12. So I've picked up that information about those virtual machines, those servers from the web group. So this is really good. Just to confirm that this is now working, if I continue refreshing this, I'm still load balancing 10.11 and 10.12. Okay, now let's go back and re-add those two, the matching criteria, the additional criteria. We've got our tag AWS Web, we've got our scope from the web app, we click Apply, click Save. You have a look at the members, 2 members, and then if I go back to Avi, if I refresh this, with a bit of luck, there you go. Our additional 2 servers have come in, 10.93 and 10.19. So if we give it a bit of time, currently they're showing us down. Once the health monitors have been validated and checked, we should see that these come alive. So okay, and there is one final thing actually that we haven't done. We need to set up our networks, routing, sorry. NSX Manager, we need to create one route which says 172.20.10. So I'm just going to fast forward the video a bit. 10.12, as well as 172.20.10.93, which is my instances in the cloud. So this really just highlights why you want to use security groups. The beauty of NSX and the beauty of the security group definition is we don't just use it as part of the security construct. We can use it with our third parties. We can use it with other parts of our product portfolio. So really, as you invest in your group structure, it's the fact that investment in that group structure. So thank you for that. Hopefully that demonstrates why we need to use dynamic security groups. Thanks again.